What's going on? How are we doing? Yeah, I will say I'm feeling pretty sick to my stomach about all these amazing trades that we've had throughout the day that I wasn't able to take advantage of. Obviously, I wasn't on the charts. Caught the longs this morning, so I am green on the day, but dude, like, so many amazing textbook trades. Here we have a pretty decent AMD setup, right? Accumulate, manipulate up, distribute. If you look at the 2 minute here, -4 lines up pretty cleanly with that first stage distribution. So we grab -4, come back up, and then try and grab 50. Looks like we just missed it. Maybe we hit it on ES or something. And then we distribute down again. We get another re-entry here on the 30 second/1 minute. And then second stage distribution here. Run it down, run the lows. And then we get a textbook long setup here where we get an SMT at the low, manipulation leg, V shape, right at the, I guess, macro time. Price runs to the break even target, and then we get the TPs. So I'm feeling pretty horrible because I know that that probably means we're not going to get anything for PM. Um, we've already completed the market maker model. We've swept both sides of liquidity. There's just no real reason for price to go anywhere here. I don't even know what I would use as for a dream scenario here because there's just nothing. I mean, we could try and target, I guess, the 4 hour gap here, um, since that's our next inefficiency after sweeping liquidity, and we can kind of gauge that reaction off of 50% here. I like 50% because it lines up pretty nicely here with this incoming 30 minute gap and these 15 minute gaps that we have right now. So maybe if we were to accumulate here for a bit and then get a V-shaped short setup off of 50% in the macro, that would be something. But I'm probably just going to be on eval today. I think we just chop inside this gap for the entire session until maybe 350 gives us something. But I could be wrong. Maybe we actually end up getting good PA. But yeah, I mean that's A plus set. I wish I could have taken that play. I just wasn't on the chart. You know, I don't trade from 11:10 to usually when I hop on for PM is when I'll start trading again. But yeah, I mean that's a fantastic play. Lows protected. We do have this 1 minute gap. If you guys noticed, that was the thing that ended up holding price here. Pretty obvious gap. So if we draw this all the way to the right, you can see price held that gap. The bodies held it. And so we do have a swing low that gets put in here, and then another swing low, and we never close below that swing low. So makes that a protected high, or I mean a protected low. But I mean at this point, I feel like us sweeping this high kind of no longer makes that protected. So I feel like if we wanted to, we could come down to those lows, but obviously protected lows aren't my favorite target. So we'll just see. $21.40. Okay. Yeah, for sure, Harry. I got you. We had that one trade on, I guess, what was it, Tuesday? And that was good. And then we had that break-even trade from Monday. And then yesterday we also, I don't think we took anything yesterday. So Yeah, it's been a pretty chill week so far. I'm just like really not looking forward to this session. I think this is going to be trash. Like if if I didn't have to stream and if I was green from the morning, I just would not touch this. We got NFP tomorrow, and we've swept out both sides of liquidity. So, I mean, typically when we get a completed market maker model and we retrace quite a bit to balance the inefficiency, and we're left with no more good draws, we're just going to chop and accumulate. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking we're about to do for the next 2 hours. Yeah, I took a couple different things this morning. I said that I was in a one-on-one, and I said that this was a really good eval play. I was logged into my MMFFUs at the time, and so since those are funded, I did not take the 30-second short. But I mean, obviously this is a very subjective trade. Like I don't think this is a bad trade at all. You definitely can take this trade unfunded and get away with it. It just doesn't meet the three pieces of criteria that I need in order to take a trade. So it met bias, of course. It met momentum, but it missed out on time and model. And so because it missed out on time and model, that's the only something I can take on eval. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously really good momentum there. It was like 30 points per minute. So, you can get away with taking those types of trades and chasing to the low there. And obviously data lows are going to be one of the best draws in liquidity in the market. So if you took that trade, that was perfect. I mean, nothing really too bad there. And then the trade that I took was actually this 1 minute long that we got here. I ended up getting break even on this. And then I also took this 15-second long that we formed after we came down here. I thought this was really good. We kind of accumulate here, manipulate down, distribute back up. Really good momentum, really good V-shape. Good break-even target. Obviously outside of the macro, but we had bias, momentum, and the model there. So I took that, quick break-even, and then held that to the high there and sold there. And then that was my one trade. It paid for about 50 points, so that was good enough for me. But as far as other trades you could have taken this morning, there was this long setup that formed during the macro, right? And when you see price close above everything else here, all the roadblocks are taken out, and we have decent liquidity up here. Like this isn't a horrible trade. You're just trading super high up in premium, and so whenever I'm taking a trade high in premium, I need a really good draw, like equal highs or data wicks. And so this isn't really a data wick. I know it looks like one because massive pump candle, good size wick, but this is just random Trump tariff news. So it's more like an external high versus a data wick created on news release. And then here, I actually didn't mind this short that we got at 1048. This is A plus mechanically. It just you're not trading with the bias, but it had momentum and time. So you had momentum, time in the model here. So this is like where you start to get into like those like, okay, like maybe I take this trade, but I feel like the majority of the time it's going to be a break even. This is like a good scalp trade though. Definitely like A plus mechanically. And then, yep, we hit that high. And then we chop around for a bit, accumulate, and then we manipulate here, and then we get that short. And that short was very good. And then there was also a 3 minute that formed. That was fine to take as well, but it probably ended up being a break even for you because, price came back down. We hit this next low inside the gap, and then we shot back up, and we hit that entry point. So the 3 or 5 were good entries to take there if you missed the one. And then also this 30-second / 1 minute short we got here was fine. And then obviously this was probably the best setup of the day. I mean, this is so textbook. Yeah, Vert, I just went over it. I took the 1 minute long during AM, and I took the 15-second long. This one here. Took that 15-second with like 3 micros and just held to the high, like expanded really quick. You got your XFA to 4,300. Should I request or build it to 10K? Whatever your financial situation dictates, I think. If you need money, take the payout. If you're comfortable, you can keep building it and get a nice buffer. If you're somebody that will blow an account in a day and you're still not at that point where you can risk manage, then take the payout. If you're somebody who's very comfortable with taking losses and can risk manage pretty good and stop trading after a loss, then I mean, you can probably keep building the account and be fine. Did the indicator catch the long? It did. I saw a couple people that posted it, but yeah, there's the indicator alerting the long. And I thought it alerted the short. Let me go back here and see. Oh, maybe I need to go back a little more. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so alerted the short there as well. I wonder if it alerted this one. It might have. No, it didn't. Okay. Probably just too small. Yeah, today was amazing for a pre-NFP day. How do you get those nice 15-second plays and not get wrecked? You just got to know what you're looking for. You just got to know what you're looking for. It takes a lot of experience and screen time. I just try and stick to the rule of I'll take that 15-second play if it's nice and V-shaped after we sweep the extremity of the range. Another example of a good 15-second play that we got today was this one here. Pretty V-shaped. We sweep the extremity of the range. No roadblocks in the way. Just good break-even target there. Yeah, I thought that was fine too. And then, yeah, I mean, that's basically what you're going to be doing anytime you take a 15-second trade. You're going to be waiting for that extremity to be swept and then taking that first inverse. Just up to that, like, next inefficiency or whatever. I liked this 15-second because we had that, 3-minute unfilled gap or whatever it was that was right here. And so I figured we'd run up at least to that, and that's where I could go break even. And then we just blasted right up through it. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, typically whenever we get a pump candle like that, we'll retrace it some or rebalance it. So I want to take my profit. And so I just took profit at the high there. I'll be testing that idea that we went over yesterday, going forward, where if we don't have a super good draw on liquidity, I'll probably just be taking profit at 1R or that liquidity target that's 1R away. Yeah, exactly, Seb. Yeah, just waiting for the extremity of the range to be swept, and then taking that like really good looking inverse that would I would take if it was on a different time frame, like a 1 minute or 30-second. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case for you, Seb, then I would probably step away from it and maybe not use it. Yeah, I mean, that was really good, Tamby. Really, really good. That was the right idea to have. I mean, just textbook, AMD there. You only take live plays on microtime? No, I'll take funded trades as long as it goes with the bias and it's paired with either momentum in time, momentum in the model, or time in the model. It just needs two of these three concepts here to align with bias, and that's a funded play for me. So the reason why this was a good funded play is because we didn't have time. We had good momentum. We kind of had the model. I mean, I know it wasn't like the most V-shaped setup in the world, but we got the liquidity sweep, and then we got good momentum up, and then it went with the bias. So bias, momentum, model, and then good break-even target. And then the idea behind this one was, okay, we have the model, we have momentum, we have bias here with this 15-second. And then the reason why I didn't take the 30-second short today, when that was the trade that everyone took, was because we just had momentum and bias here, but we didn't have the model. There was no liquidity sweep. There was no macro. So, yeah, I mean, this is like, if you guys have something better you could be doing with your time, I would probably go do it. I just don't think we're going to get anything today. Today is probably going to be one of the worst days of PM because we've ran both sides of the liquidity. We don't have any good draws left. We've basically gotten all of our moves out, and it's pre-NFP. So I really think we'll probably just go sideways. Honestly, Scotty, that's kind of uncharted territory. Like, I would really have no idea how to navigate that. I'm sorry. I wish I had a good answer for you, but I just don't. I mean, if you're trying to actually get moved to live and journal, which doesn't really sound like that's your case, then like I have good um, advice for you for that, like how to journal, and I can show you that. But for how to avoid it, I have no idea. I mean, I use an Excel spreadsheet um, to journal my trades, but wouldn't low of day from yesterday be the draw? Yeah, it can be. Right, it lines up nicely with that unbalanced daily gap. I had the 4 hour drawn, but yeah, that daily gap there would be a good draw. I just, this is a pretty bullish reaction here, so I would need to see bearish delivery. And, I think we could get that if we retrace to 50% and, started moving around the macro. But, I mean, this price action is about what I'm expecting for the whole session. I just think we've moved too much. I think we need to accumulate before we get anything else. That's usually what a healthy market does is now that we've ran everyone's stops and we've taken all the orders, we have to generate more liquidity. So I think that's what we're in the process of doing. All right, Scotty. Then yeah, I mean, if it becomes a bigger problem, then maybe address it. But it sounds like that's just kind of like a blanket email that they sent to everyone. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much. If they if a risk manager reaches out to you personally and says something, then maybe it becomes a problem. But or if they start denying you payouts, then obviously that could become a problem. But yeah, this would be accumulation here, trade boy. Yep, just slow grinding up. Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It just sounds like an auto-generated email, and so I don't think he really has anything to worry about. But I would target the unfilled daily, Marcus. But yeah, I mean, if we start to deliver bearish here, then yeah, I'd probably look for a short. It'd be nice to see price react maybe to this 30-minute gap here, and we get an inverse. But I'm not going to short any of these gaps here because there's a bunch of roadblocks in the way. So I'll probably need a manipulation leg in order to take a short here, something like this most likely. But I don't think I would ever just short this gap, for example. Right. Alfonso, if you've had 5 losing days in a row and they've been the last 5 trading days, I imagine you're probably doing something wrong, whether that's over trading or just not being patient enough and forcing setups. Um, but yeah, sometimes in trading we will just have losing streaks that happen, and that's totally normal. But if you've gone through and you've journaled your trades and you're able to find mistakes, whether it was you traded against the bias, or you were taking setups in bad price conditions, or you know, went break even too early, or stopped out on a trade that wasn't actually a loss. There's a lot of different reasons why you could have taken a loss unnecessarily. So, you know, go back, review those setups that you took, and figure out maybe why they were losses or why you ended up red. And if the reason isn't anything other than it was a really good loss and the setup was A plus, then you probably do have some work to do. So we got 6 more minutes till the macro here. I've mentioned this a couple times, but we've had a few more people join. I think I'm probably just going to be trading on eval today. We'll see. But the day before NFP was the last time we had a losing day in this stream, and so historically for PM, it's just not that great. We'll see winning setups lose on a day like today, and so that's why I think it's best to be on eval. But if we see a setup that follows bias momentum time model, then we can treat it as a funded play, but just know I'm going to be on eval for the session, especially since I was green from the morning, and we've just had way too much distribution to expect anything that good today. The situation I'm using right now is anecdotal, but I have sufficient data from back testing. Obviously Dodgy's back tested it and he's found similar things, and then ICT even recommends saying that the day before NFP or the couple days before NFP isn't that great. So I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess just watch today. Yep. Yeah, TB. I do the same thing, but I just phrase it a little bit differently. So, what he's talking about is using the higher time frame inverses and for value gaps to determine the draw, right? And it's just like he's just using it as simple as that. But what I do is, I evaluate delivery as a component of draw, and then I evaluate draw and liquidity as a component of sorry. I evaluate delivery as a component of bias, and I evaluate draw and liquidity as a component of bias. Okay, and so I break down delivery into lower time frame and higher time frame because at any moment the lower time frame delivery can become bearish while the higher time frame remains bullish. Just like how yesterday when we got the 4-hour inverse and we had shorts presenting themselves, I wasn't going short because the higher time frame was telling me that price was bullish. Okay? So, in that scenario, yes, I'll use the higher time frame for getting bias, but at the same time, the higher time frame isn't always going to tell you when bias is switching. For example, when we get this 1 minute inverse here, okay, we've been bearish for a good chunk of time, right? We got this 15-minute inverse here, okay, and that's telling you bias is bearish on the higher time frame, okay? But when we get this 1 minute inverse to the upside, nothing on the higher time frame here is really telling you that price is bullish, but we know it is because we know that on the lower time frame here, when we get this fair value gap that disrespects this bearish fair value gap here, and then we put in this bullish fair value gap and that gets respected, that's the lower time frame delivery flipping bullish. And so we know that at least in this swing, okay, we are bullish on the lower time frame. Oops. Okay, in this swing here. Dude, can I figure this out? Okay. In this swing here, we are bullish on the lower time frame until we hit this high, and then we have to reevaluate and say, okay, based on the reaction of this high, are we still bullish on the lower time frame, or are we, flipping bearish again, right? We won't know that we're higher time frame bullish in terms of delivery until we inverse this 30-minute probably back up to the upside, or 15-minute, or whatever it is. Maybe it'll be an hourly gap that we form, right? That's when we'll know for certain that our delivery switched bullish on the higher time frame, but it's not necessary for bias, right? It's just a component of it. We have this 1 minute bullish IFG here. Not something I'm going to take because we're in the middle of the range. We're chopping. We're not quite in the macro time yet. We don't really have any good draws above. And technically the higher time frame bias, as I just said, is bearish until we get that inverse. So it's fine to fade the higher time frame, or sorry, not bias, but the higher time frame delivery when we're at the extremity of the range and we get a good model setup. But when we're in the middle of the range like this, I don't necessarily want to fade it. So if I'm long from the 3 minute, where should my TP be? I would probably TP at 50%. Try and TP around there. That could be good. So if lower time frame contracts the higher time frame, do you reckon it's good to take the first FEG like the 1 minute you just showed, or look for more confirmation? Because I get stuck on finding out when the lower time frame switches. So it just depends on if there's roadblocks in the way, right? Like here, there's no roadblocks for price when we get this inverse. And so that's why when, right now when I'm looking for a short, I'm not going to short any of these gaps to the downside here because there's a bunch of roadblocks in the way. We have 5-minute fair value gaps, 3, etc., etc. But if we get a manipulation leg and get that inverse, there's not going to be any roadblocks. And so in this swing that we form, that manipulation leg, that swing will become bearish until we get to that low when the delivery switches. And then once we get to that low, we can reevaluate and say like, okay, are we bullish or are we bearish here? So that's kind of the idea behind taking this long, is we know that we're bullish to that high. And then once we hit that high, we can evaluate again and see like, okay, what are the candles doing once we hit this high? Is it a super reaction? Do we just close straight through it? Is it really good momentum? Are we putting in bullish for value gaps over the high? And then, you just keep doing that as you hit more and more roadblocks and more, inefficiencies in liquidity, right? Because essentially price wants to go from liquidity to liquidity or inefficiency to inefficiency. So if price blasts past a liquidity point or an inefficiency, it's telling you that the actual target of price is to head higher because there's another imbalance that's more important that needs to be addressed. There's orders that are basically just orders that are resting there that need to be filled, right? And like once you get screen time and once you see it a bunch, you'll know exactly what to look for, right? I mean, anytime we hit liquidity, that's when like basically bias goes neutral, and then you need to figure out, okay, are we flipping bullish or bearish? Okay, so like when price hit this low here, okay, higher time frame and lower time frame bias immediately goes neutral until we gauge that reaction and we see what price wants to do. And then once we get the lower time frame delivery confirmed, okay, now we're bullish. Okay, now that we've came up and we've hit this bearish fair value gap here, and we're just chopping in this range, okay, now we're neutral again since we've tapped into another inefficiency, and we need to gauge the reaction when we get to this inefficiency. If we're bullish, we'll see price continue to violate lower time frame gaps. If we're bearish, we'll start seeing price violate bullish lower time frame gaps, right? But we won't know for certain that price is lower time frame bearish until we inverse what? What gap here is going to make me know for certain that we're lower time frame bearish? A little quiz over the last couple of days. Yeah, the bottom 5 minutes. So this is what I need to wait for in order to know for certain that we're lower time frame bearish given this swing. But obviously that's a horrible trade, right? It's bad risk to reward. It's in discount of this range once we get the entry. And it's like I said, like just to the low there, it's not even 1-to-1. So the better trade that price is going to offer us here is going to be one where we get a manipulation leg up and then down, so we can go, okay, I know that price is probably going to be bearish still on the higher time frame as long as we respect the 15-minute, 30-minute, and hourly CIBI. So as long as I get, a good setup from up here, I can take that as a short versus taking the poor RR trade that's deep in discount, because I know that this will be lower probability in case, my bias is wrong, or because we're deep in discount, price wants to take another stab at the highs or whatever, right? Especially on pre-NFP days. So you think 636 would be the higher time frame target? I think the daily BISI is. So 641, I guess, right? Because that's our next inefficiency on the higher time frame. So price wants to go from liquidity to inefficiency to maybe liquidity if we get through the inefficiency, and so on and so on. What if we get a retest of the 2-minute breaker? Like this one? I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, right? It would kind of be like a unicorn model here on the maybe 5-minute. Yeah, 5-minute. So yeah, I mean, that would be cool. Yeah. So this is the indicator. Natique, and then the way you set it up is you go into the settings, and whatever you want your subtitle to be, you just put it in this text box here, and then you can obviously change, what that looks like. You can change the color, the centering, the text size, etc. Right. So we created equal lows here. If we left those intact before, we got the short, that would be cool. Obviously, it doesn't really look like it. You need to hide the indicator values. What do you mean? Am I using the exact same settings for the indicator? Yeah, as Dodgy? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure his settings are just everything auto, IFG type series, and then threshold, medium, and large. And that's like, at least from what I watched the video, that was the only thing that I think I missed. Or not missed. That's the only thing that I think he changed. Wow. Very cool. Thank you, Epof. I don't know. It never really bothered me, but if it bothers you, then I'll take care of it. But yeah, much cleaner. Nah, I'm gonna put it back. I miss it. There we go. That's better. Wait, what are we doing? I don't know. I'm meant to retest the 1 minute breaker at the start of this move. Okay, so you mean this. This bullish one. I mean, yeah, what if? I don't know. I mean, as long as we're respecting these 5 minute gaps here, we'll be bullish on the lower time frame. And as long as we're respecting this 15-minute gap here, we'll be bearish on the higher time frame. So probably going to stick with higher time frame bias and just assume that price is probably going to go for the daily inefficiency, but we're just not really getting a setup for it. Like, I'm never going to take a short off of this 1 minute, obviously, because it's invalid, or any of these 5 minute gaps or anything, because it's bad risk reward. So I needed to, I don't know. I needed to see like a retrace to 50 here with a good manipulation leg, and then like a good IFG to the downside, but we just never got that. I guess we got this like 30-second here, but I mean, this isn't the model, and it's during the macro, and I guess it meets momentum criteria. So I guess the only thing is I mean, I actually went with the higher time frame bias too. So I mean, technically this 30-second was valid, but I mean, I'm just not going to take something like that. Where you're taking a short into a 5 minute bullish gap. I don't know. I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to care about these equal highs. They're not important. Same thing with these equal lows. They're not really that important. So yeah, if we bounce from the last gap in the leg here back up and we started disrespecting lower time frame bearish PD arrays, that would be a sign that delivery on the lower time frame is still bullish. And for this setup here, this 1 minute, we'd probably expect price to go to this next inefficiency, and then once again gauge that reaction, and then if we blast up through it, then expect 50% to get hit here, and then we'll reevaluate again and just continue to reevaluate until price reverses or we get stop break even or whatnot. Tap 50% of bullish rally. Alrighty. Good to know. I figured. Looks like it. So, bearish close there. Here's 2 o'clock. We inverse the 15 minute to the downside here. Looks like price wants to go back for the lows again. No model here for us, obviously. I'll probably trade an eval, baby. Umami if we get like a good setup, but so far we just haven't gotten one. But yeah, I mean, I'm just anticipating more downside here. I'm probably going to miss this short that we'll get to the daily BISTI, but maybe we'll get a long from the daily BISTI. Usually we get a good reaction, so if that's the case, I'd be fine with that. I mean, good opportunity to make some money there, probably. Damn. What's the dream scenario? I guess a long from the daily BISTI. That would be kind of the dream scenario for me. Something like that. I'd probably just take a 1-to-1 trade there. But yeah, I mean, right now it's pretty clear we're just going to dump to the lows. Damn, man. I tried to get filled on an options trade there. I thought, this reaction was really bearish. We inversed the 15. We closed through that first 5 minute. So I was going to jump in there. And my average would have been like $1 per con. And they're already up to $1.50. And I would have just sold all at the low there. And I think I would have made like 100 and something percent, 115%. But it left without me. I just missed getting tagged in there by like a couple dollars. Oh well. Oh well, oh well. So we got 1 more minute till the 5 minute candle closes here. It looks like we're going to inverse this last gap. I use Robinhood JPub. Yeah, that would have been nice. Damn. I think I'd recommend like Weeble or TOS for most people. I've had this Robinhood account forever, so I'm just still using it. Okay, so 5 minute inverse there. I think we're pretty clear for the lows. I'll show you guys this contract I was looking at when I added it to my watch list, and when I tried to get filled, it just didn't get filled. Oops. Yeah, I accidentally clicked on it instead of, you know. That's the contract I was looking at. I added it to my watch list. I was going to execute on it. It just didn't get filled. Yeah, I'm thinking. We're gonna go for that previous day low too. That's what I have marked out. Damn, they're at 1.7 already. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, for sure, crypto. I think that's not a horrible idea. Watching SMTs here. I don't think we're gonna get one, but just keeping an eye on it. I was just trying to get in off of the 15. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, we violated that first 5 minute with so much momentum. We just weren't respecting it at all. We continued to put in bearish PD arrays and respect those. So I figured it made sense considering the higher time frame was still bearish on delivery that we would go for that next draw. And this is the best draw on the chart currently. This daily unfilled gap. So to me, it made sense as like a lotto play to take. I mean, I'm not gonna trade it on futures or anything, but when I have like just enough conviction to like enter something on that I have like a good feeling about, like I'll try and take it on options. Normally I get pretty lucky, but there I didn't. I just missed the fill by a couple dollars. Yeah, Weeble, Nair, or Thinkorswim, or I don't know. Any brokerage usually offers options. The most user friendly is probably Robinhood. But Robinhood has a tendency to like give you bad fills on purpose, and typically they have like the cheapest commissions, I think. But the bad fills kind of make up for the commissions, so it's not really that great still. Yeah, because they don't like make enough offers. I think like the liquidity is just bad on purpose, and so like you end up getting these spreads that are like outlandish. And so when you go to like try and sell your position, the spreads are so bad that sometimes you just get filled in a weird spot on like lower volume options. Obviously on QQQ, like that doesn't really happen, but so like trading on Robinhood really isn't that big of a deal if you're trading futures like we are, but um, for anything else, it can be kind of rough, especially on like those lower volume uh, tickers, like individual small cap stocks or that kind of thing. Plus, one thing that I really like to do with options is I like to take trades during the macro. So when we got the close here and we still have 10 minutes left of the macro, I know that most likely price is just going to continue to distribute. And so in options, you want to consider time as a major component of your position. And so when you see a good opportunity during the macro, it'll usually accelerate it to the target, and that way you're not burning too much of your premium on time. Zebi, that's a good one. All right, well, we're just coming up on that low of day here, and then 641 will be that next target. Hit that last gap in the leg. Once we inverse that, I think we'll be good to go. Yeah, sure. So, oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Nothing too crazy. 0, 1.5, -2, -1, -2.5, -4. My friend Plyo taught me those, but I think he learned from T Trades. That sounds familiar. 30-second. Do have a 30-second BPR here. It's kind of an FU short. You're shorting into a 1 minute gap. Very deep in discount. Not the model because we didn't get that liquidity sweep either. So missing time, missing in the model. Probably decent momentum. Probably goes along with bias. Oh, 30-second long. Oh. Goes against the bias. I'm good on that. It worked for a break even though. Wait, nope, not yet. Almost did. I mean, you can go break even at that first internal high, but I mean, are we really doing that? There's a 5 minute above us that price should hit, so should see that, and then that's your break even. But I would never take a long here. This just looks too market maker sell model-y for me. This is like textbook sell model. I would start looking for longs at 641. I think the daily unfilled gap is too much of a draw. I mean, obviously we can hold that last 1 minute gap in the leg there and respect that again and come back up, but I think it only makes sense here for price to go and hit that daily gap before seeing price come higher here, because there's no reason, like, it's too significant of like of a draw for us not to hit. Yeah, it's also a 1 in 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, if we don't hit the 4 hour, I don't really care. The only thing I really need to see hit here is the daily. That's most important to me. But yeah, I mean, if we get the 4 hour too, I mean, it's right there. That would be great. Just add conviction to the long when we get it. If we do get a long from there, I would take it on. I would probably take it unfunded, especially if it was any other day. But today, I would take it unfunded. Maybe today, since it's pre-NFP, I won't. But so far, price is moving pretty clean. So if it didn't work, I would be surprised. You know, coming out of that daily. Usually, dailies give us a nice bullish reaction. Even though the draw here isn't anything crazy good, you're just trading that initial reaction from the daily. So that's kind of the idea. This is where, you know, maybe 15 seconds kind of have a tendency to work more at that extremity of the range. But yeah, these contracts are now worth $2 each, so they are up 100%. That's probably where I would have covered some of the position, and then I would have covered the rest at the daily gap there. So that's so unfortunate that I didn't get filled for that, because that was an 100% options play there. Even if you guys ended up taking that when I posted it in here, when I posted it in here, they were about $1.50 a con. Now they're at $2, so that's still 33%. I mean, it's nothing really too crazy, but you know, that's still a good percentage gain. Obviously, not something I called out, but I mean, we knew what price was doing. You know, when we get this 50-minute inverse, we knew we'd go for the low. Longs after daily FEG, that would be the goal. And I don't think I would look for a manipulation leg if we hit the gap, because there's not really any roadblocks here for us. If we were to, like, let's say, take like this 2 minute, you know, that would be fine. We closed through that last 1 minute gap, so we should just hit the low now. No SMT quite yet. We might get one with ES here where NQ takes the low, but ES doesn't. And I definitely want to see that daily gap hit before seeing a reversal. I don't think it makes any sense for price to come all the way back to not get that liquidity and just reverse all the way back up. Okay, so that's where I would final TP if you guys were in a short. I mean, I feel like this was a no-brainer. Just sucks. You know, not really any good model for us there, but wow. All right, those contracts hit $3 a share. Oh my goodness, dude. I'm so, or $3 a con. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. That literally just 100%ed from when I posted them in the chat. I would scale everything there. Dude, I just missed out on $250. That's annoying. That's annoying. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even necessarily call it because I said I wasn't in it, but it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. How do I select strike and expiration? Usually I just go off of, you know, either really close in the money or just barely out of the money. So just around where price is at, because that gives me a good delta to premium ratio. And yeah, once those contracts start, you know, really pushing and they're in the money, that's when you see the delta explode and you get really nice returns. And then obviously I try not to take too high IV of contracts, because you know, if they're anything over like 35%, the premiums just become too expensive there, because we got that massive injection of volatility when we took the low. We the IV on those contracts that I had actually spiked from 35% to 45%, and that actually increased the price of the option, as well as, you know, on the move, you know, just the move down there. So pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, this long here would be A+ if we got it. We'd have bias, momentum, and the model if we got it. Hopefully we get the 3 minute here. That would be probably the best looking IVG. And then this VI here is about 2 points, so I'd probably include that in the inverse. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Probably got to wait for multiple time frame confirmations here because you want to take multiple time frame confirmation setups when we're outside of the macro. So we want to see the 2 and the 3 and the 1 all inverse here. But wow, just right back up already. All right. So about a 40-point stop. Break even at the 5 here, I guess. TP's, I don't know, where would we TP at? Maybe that 1 minute high here. So yeah, like I wouldn't take options now because the premiums are too high. And what'll happen now that we've kind of distributed already is we'll probably consolidate. And so you buy when the volatility is high here, and you're just gonna, get eaten up by time and theta and IV crush. Dang, Ethan, that sucks. Yeah, no, I didn't take any losses there, but it definitely feels like I did. I mean, just no textbook setup there. But maybe we'll get back at it with this setup. Obviously, the 2 minute or the 3 minute there was too small, so we have the 2 minute and the 1 minute to watch. Hopefully, we close over both, and we'll be good to go. Damn. I'd rather see price rebalance its inefficiency here. So if it comes down and taps this 1 minute before getting the inverse, that would be awesome. Don't want to leave inefficiencies behind when we get that inverse because usually what will happen is price will come back to fill that inefficiency in before heading higher. And I just want a nice easy move where we just go straight up. So any trades yet? Dude, missed my fill on options by a couple bucks. The idea behind it was just a 15-minute inverse here, targeting that daily unfilled gap. We just hit that, so I think this will be our first option, or not options traded, our first trade of the day here, Dapper. This is 1 minute long. Hopefully we get it. It doesn't just, go off without us. Yeah, I put stops like at 626 here. I mean, it's a lot of points, but you're better off doing that than, having it dump all the way. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So no inverse. We got it on the 1 minute, not the 2, and we don't have the VI, so I mean, it looks really good, but I'm gonna wait for that multiple time frame confirmation here. Hopefully I don't miss the trade. I mean, god damn it. God damn it. Why couldn't we have just closed a couple of ticks higher there? I'm gonna beat myself up about this if it goes now without us, even though we got the 1 minute, but we didn't get the 2. Am I in? No, I'm not in. Not yet. In 20 seconds, hopefully. So there it is. We should be good to go. Should hit that 5 minute high there. Obviously want to include that 1 minute inception gap in your trade. Do we have a 15? No 15. So it should just run to that break-even point. If we hit this high, we should just hit the 5 minute gap too, so might just go break-even there. It's a good almost 17, 18 points away, so there really isn't any reason why price should come back once we hit that. All right, so I'm going to go break even there. And we'll just keep it pushing. It's the best pre-NFP day ever. I mean, this is just crazy. First TP for me is going to be like 740, I guess, here. Might get a bearish reaction from this 5 minute. Technically, lower time frame delivery hasn't been confirmed yet. We're back to being neutral. Once we start inversing these 5 minutes and, I guess that 15 minute gap, that will be really good. That will confirm delivery. Just want to gauge reaction here. Since we've hit this 5 minute gap, if we start to put in bullish for value gaps, that'll be a really good sign. If we just start to, stall here and chop around, then maybe we'll see price come back and we'll get break even. Plays up about, 20 points so far. So it's not quite 1-to-1. Hoping we get there. Hoping we don't just chop here and come back down. That would suck. Hoping we respect this 1 minute. Our break even at least is in a good place because we should have this 1 minute to hold us. So if it gets violated, then we'll probably see price head lower anyway. So really good spot for the break even, I guess. But yeah, I just want to see continuous candle closes higher here. Price putting in bullish PD arrays over the 5 minute SIBI. And yeah, hopefully we hit that first 1 hour target. But yeah, I mean, we just continue to have really good PA. So, I mean, even though they say you shouldn't be trading funded or live accounts today, when we get good price action like this, there's no reason to stop yourself. I mean, every single setup's working, so. I guess, one thing I could have said before taking this trade is that, I changed my mind about funded versus eval, but I'll just say it was an eval setup in the trade recap because I didn't mention it beforehand. But I think this was a good funded trade, but I will never advertise it as such. I mean, I said today I was going to trade eval, so this was an eval trade. But yeah, I mean, of course I'm going to flip flop if price is going to be this good. It'll probably just end up being a break even trade though. I mean, we're not really seeing any good reaction of the 5 minute here. We're kind of rejecting it. And we're outside of the macro time, so we probably don't have the volume yet to get through it. That's probably our issue. So it'll be unfortunate, but maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah, exactly, trade boy. Yep, we're just outside of the macro now, so maybe we'll sit in this trade for an hour and a half until something happens, and then we'll get break even. We ride to 21,790 or too much? Maybe. We just got to get really good momentum here. And we're just not seeing that yet. We're just kind of chopping. Yeah, usually reactions to daily for value gaps provide us with a really good, 50 to 100 point move. So you can see we've already moved 100 points off the low. So this might be it, honestly. Unless we start closing over the highs. I don't know, EJ. Good question, though. Can you guys do bracket orders on Replicanto? All right, Zebby, sounds good. I'll catch you next week. Did you take this trade, Zebby, or no? What up, Phoenix? Ape off. We just have to see good momentum, but I'm probably gonna final TP at that 15-minute civvy. I mean, if we really get moving here, maybe I'll change my mind on that, but we don't really have like the craziest draw on liquidity ever, and so I just don't know if we'll come back for that target. Yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Yep. Am I in this trade? Yeah, I am, Phoenix. We alerted it. Still waiting for first TP. It's like about 0.5 R right now. How many Marcos am I in? Or micros am I in? I'm in with 3. I'm in with 3 right now. It's probably going to be a break-even trade. I don't know. This thing's not moving. This 5 minutes just holding price down. Would I take this short? Nah, because we've already hit the daily bullish gap, so now you're fading that. And, we've swept sell side. There's just... No, I would never take a short here. Definitely not here. I could understand taking it here, before we hit sell side, but taking it after sell side's been hit is just crazy. I would never take that. So we got 17 more minutes before 250 macro. Maybe we just need to come down and sweep the equal lows here. We just made triple equal lows, so yeah, I think those definitely need to be swept before we move up. Yeah, OEB, we got a trade, believe it or not. I couldn't believe it, but yeah, in PM stream the day before NFP, we got a trade and met the criteria bias momentum model, so. We're in this long right now. First TP? No, first TP for me is going to be 740. It's that 15-minute gap above, and then it's also that high inside the for value gap there. We have this roadblock in the way that's stopping price. So I'm guessing once we inverse this 5-minute, we'll go to that high. But until that happens, we're just going to be chopping. Oh, wait. Maybe Trump said something? Okay. Please, Trump, help. Help. Help, please. What price did I get in at? I'm in from 687. So I'm up about, I don't know, 40 points? No, 30 points. I don't know if Trump said something. I'm just being, I'm just saying whatever. Okay, so 5-minute. Did we violate CE? Okay, so we did. So that's good. Just keep pushing here. Keep pushing. Okay, good momentum. Okay, so now if we continue to see this momentum, through this 5-minute, through this 15-minute, maybe the 790 isn't so unrealistic, right? But we want to be realistic given the context of the market. So do I think tomorrow will be bad? Maybe. It depends on the data wick. I think an OSFL setup is always going to be good, but if we like, I mean, this price action today was crazy. So like, getting this type of price action 2 days in a row would just be bonkers. Okay, good momentum there. First TP coming up here in just a second. Looks like we might have hit it on ES already. I'm going to scale majority of the position besides a runner at this gap here. When we get to it. It'll be for about 50 points, so it should be good. Equal highs there with the devil's mark. Oh, brother. I set my TP like a whole point below the actual TP. Imagine it just reverses now. Okay, cool. We got it. Awesome. So micros just hit my TP. So now I'm down to a runner. Okay. I don't know what's happening. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I just got so lucky. What the hell? I just top ticked that. Holy shit. Okay. What the fuck was that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's why you take profit a point early. What was that? All right, yeah. I'm probably going to get stopped out of my runner here. Wow, I think I actually top ticked that. Okay, we're still good. We're still good. Come back up. We got equal highs. Come on, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. NQ, just come on back. Dude, what was that? What was that? That's actually the craziest thing I've ever seen. One minute there held. That would have been my stop out for my runner. So it's still my stop out for my runner. If we inverse this 1 minute to the downside, I'll hop out. But yeah, I was literally in the process of adjusting my stop, and we just get like the craziest death candle, and I had no stop loss. So I was like, oh my gosh. But nah, we're good. It saved you? Okay, yeah. I mean, I had a good fill. Like I said, I'm in from 687, so price didn't even come to my entry, but yeah, that was crazy. So we have a 30-second gap here. We want to see price just blast up through the BPR here. I feel like we should. Um, normally we retrace these big news moves, so it should be good to go. But that was pretty crazy. Just out of curiosity, how many of you guys took that trade? Okay. So yeah, I mean, kind of a no-brainer there, right? Did any of you guys take it unfunded? I guess type 3 if you took it unfunded. I think it was a good funded trade. Yeah. Okay, good job. Good job, guys. Did any of you guys, close early like I did? I always try and take profit a point early and for situations exactly like that. Yeah, you gotta take it a point early. Oh, I didn't even realize the indicator alerted it. Dude, what the hell is Dodgy gonna do, man? This indicator just nails everything. People are just gonna buy the indicator and never join stream. That's funny. Yeah, indicator alerted it. Damn. As soon as you full TP'd, it dumps. So that's awesome. That's so cool. Nah, because it fails sometimes. Yeah, it does. Now I gotta beat a robot. Dude, AI's taking everyone's jobs. Oh, for sure, frontline. Hell yeah. Yeah, probably. I don't know, EJ. I mean, it seems pretty good. It seems very good. Um, maybe Vert. I mean, it doesn't really matter for PM since PM the day after or the session after NFP normally isn't that great anyway. We usually get a lot of expansion in the morning and then that leads to accumulation in the afternoon. But as far as the morning, I mean, we should get an OSFL set up and that's usually pretty good. So I think I'd be okay, trading tomorrow. We got the macro here in 7 more minutes. I mean, this is literally the best price action ever. I mean, it's the last thing I expected the day before NFP, but I mean, every single inverse is working. Liquidity is being taken perfectly. Bias is working perfectly. Tesla down 11.2%. Oh, it's gonna be hard to get back to this high then. Damn, is it really down almost 12%? Shee. What the hell? That's crazy. Well, hopefully it gets rotated into other parts of NQ so we can keep price moving higher here. Okay, so pretty bad candle here. We got another 40 seconds before the 1 minute. Yeah, I'm going to get break even. All right, so break even on the runner there. That's fine. I should have just trusted my gut and full TP'd when I originally wanted to, but still a good trade. Bottom ticked, of course. All right. Let me draw out the trade recap. Dude, are we so for real, man? Why? Why, dude? Why? Why would it do this? Oh my god, man. Literally to the tick. Whatever, bro. I mean, at least I got everything out besides a runner, so like it's fine. Like I made what $1,000 this afternoon. Like that's fine. I mean, that's totally fine. Oops. All right. Does the IFG indicator actually send a notification to your phone if you're not on it? Yeah. Yo, what? Oh, no. No, that's horrible. No, that's actually just all out war. Yeah, I actually don't know what Tesla's gonna do now. That's really bad. That's really bad. That's really bad for Tesla. Damn. I would hate to be a Tesla bag holder right about now. Oh, indicator caught it. Oh my god, the indicator actually caught it. I'm screenshotting that. That's way too funny. No stream tomorrow? No, we got stream tomorrow. that is now 15 winning days since our last losing day. Pretty good. Dude, when they make PM price action this easy, I mean, of course I'm going to be winning all the time. Would you trade the AM session tomorrow? A good chance to target down lows or highs? Yeah, I'll trade AM tomorrow for sure. By the way, I really got bottom ticked on that break even. Like, I think I was one tick off. Or two ticks off. That's crazy. I think if I would have let it stay at the original break even, I wouldn't have been break even there. But it looks like price is going to break even us anyway. We're still respecting these 15-minute fair value gaps here. We're not really seeing price, inverse higher time frame bearish gaps. So delivery on the higher time frame is technically still bearish. Like I said, though, I mean this long was just going to be a trade to try and get the bullish move off of the daily gap. That's about it. We weren't really looking for anything, too crazy, right? When people were asking me about 790 here, I said, probably unrealistic. We would need really good momentum. And then we started to get it, and then Trump had to open his mouth. That's usually how it goes, right? The only reason why this trade probably didn't hit 790 is because of Trump. 30-second long, so no liquidity sweep, so not the model. Outside, in the macro. Momentum here is pretty bad, and then bias is question mark. So probably just not going to take anything now that bias is questionable. We just don't know where we're at. Do you think NFP is going to be bearish or bullish tomorrow? No idea. Could not tell you. How can I gamble 2 eval accounts with NFP tomorrow? Hedge, send one long, send one short. Awesome, Sheets, awesome. Markets or limits? Up to you. Normally, when I'm hedging, I just mark it in at the same price and set my TP, however many points away I need to pass the account. But you can do the limit order thing where you set multiple limit orders, 30 points above, an area and price where we shouldn't violate it if we're bearish, or, maybe not even 30 points, like 15 points, and same thing. So, like, here in this scenario, you could set, like, limit buys here, limit sells here, and then take profit there, or whatever. And normally this will work for NFP, right? What prop firm will actually allow that? I think MFFU, Apex, all the big ones. All right, Tambi. I'll catch you later. Why are we still bearish if we hit the previous day low and you said no shorts after hitting previous day low? Yeah, so there's no shorts. Like, I'm not going to take anything else because it's low probability. But the only way that our bias can flip bullish is if we get what? What is the equation for bias, Renacho? Dole plus delivery, right. So we need draw on liquidity plus delivery here. And ideally we want delivery to be on lower and higher time frame, right? So because delivery right now is just on the lower time frame, we inverse this 2 minute to the upside. We didn't even really break this 5 minute. So it's not even like technically lower time frame deliveries confirmed. But basically, because the higher time frame is rejecting here, and we've continued to respect bearish PD arrays and disrespect bullish ones on the higher time frame, delivery on the higher time frame is still bullish. So if we've taken out all of the sell side draws, but delivery has not been confirmed bullish, we have essentially a scenario where there's no draw and bearish delivery. So in this scenario here, there's just like not a bias. In order to get a bias again, you would need to have that bearish delivery aligned with a good draw. And we can say like the external low there is the draw. So like, technically there's a draw, but like it's not a good one, right? Because we know that this low that we'd be targeting is a low inside of a bullish daily gap. So it's just not a good draw, right? It's not really something that's even necessarily in the hierarchy of draws list. And so that's why like you can't necessarily have a bias here, even though it makes sense to want to be bullish. That bullish bias just hasn't been confirmed yet, right? So when we get that 15-minute inverse to the upside here, maybe we'll see, price become higher time frame bullish again, and then we can attack these highs we've left behind. But until then, no reason to have a bullish bias. We can still monitor things though on the lower time frame. Like we can continue to watch, like for example, this 30-second gap here. We can figure if this 30-second gap on the lower time frame breaks to the upside, we'll see the equal highs hit. Same thing to the downside. We can monitor this 5-minute gap, and we can say like, okay, as long as we're holding this 5-minute gap, lower time frame bias should be bullish, right? Because we're respecting bullish PD arrays, right? So this is these can be our conditions, right? And we can say, okay, on the lower time frame, if this 30-second breaks, we'll assume that these equal highs will get hit, the 15-minute above will get hit, and then after those get hit, we have to go back and we have to say, okay, let's monitor that reaction to the high. If we start putting in bullish PD arrays over that high, then we can say, okay, we're certain that lower time frame delivery is bullish here, and we can continue to hold the position. If we hit the high and price comes back, obviously it'll be a break-even trade because it's too close. But in that, if we start to really move away and we hit like another draw, like maybe this high here, if we want to hold runners longer than that, the way that we can hold runners there is say, okay, we've hit this high, let's monitor that reaction. If we start violating bullish PD arrays to the downside in the lower time frame, that's when we'll get out of our position, right? Because bias will have flipped because the delivery will have become bearish, and then we'll probably be able to find some inefficiency that we left behind that we can target as a draw. What's a good account size to start with options? I started a $200 account, JPEV, and I ran it up to 5K. So literally whatever amount you want, you just got to start with like lower position sizes. But yeah, ideally you probably want like $1,000. A grand will give you enough to work with, on these smaller 0 day till expiry contracts. You can risk you can put 20% of the account in a single trade, so $200, and then of that $200 you can risk let's say half of the stop loss, and you'll only be risking 10% of the account per trade, right? So it's kind of the same thing as futures. So you put your TP 1 point below actual TP. Yeah, for micros, because sometimes what'll happen is we'll get bullshit like this, or what'll happen is like NQ will hit the high before MNQ does, and there will be a discrepancy there, and so we'll miss the TP on MNQ but not on NQ, and then we'll just reject instantly. So that's why I always put it a point below. Kind of up to you, though. You can do 2 points below if you want. Just what makes sense. So I feel good about getting break even now. Obviously, it's no longer a bottom tick. We definitely came back and we respected this 30-second here. So we'll keep an eye on this 5-minute. If we inverse this 5-minute to the downside at 3, we'll probably see previous hourly low hit. And then, maybe we see a long. Maybe we'll get a long back to the previous hourly high here, which would be those equal highs. That could be interesting. Maybe we get another long setup. I don't know. So 30 more seconds. One minute does look interesting. We have the model here, so liquidity sweep. We have time. We got probably good momentum here, and the only thing we're kind of missing is bias. I feel like bias is just neutral right now. So in a neutral bias, if we have the other three components, I feel like it should work to that high. So no 5-minute inverse there. Obviously closed through CE of the 5-minute gap, so not a good sign for to be bullish there. But we are respecting that 3-minute, so that's good. Could also come all the way back to this 1-minute BPR and just come right back up after hitting it. But yeah, just out of curiosity, what would you guys classify this trade as? You know, obviously I said I was trading eval today, but is this an eval trade or is this a funded trade that we took? Funded? Like not based off of like, you know, the trade itself, just more off of like, I guess the call out. Like was the call out a funded trade or was it a eval trade? And like, don't BS me because like I know like Dodgy will flip flop sometimes and say stuff like that, and I don't want to be like that. But I feel like, you know, I mean, I never like qualified which you know, I guess account I was getting in off. So that was the only thing I didn't hold your guys' hand on. But I mean, this I did say this was like A plus. So I don't know. It's I'll keep it in the notes that it was an eval trade, but we can just look back on this moment and wink about it and say, yeah, that was a funded play. I mean, I don't know. Frontline, I'll have to go back and look at the recording. I mean, maybe I said that, but I don't remember. I feel like I said something like, I mean, for me personally, since I'm green on the day, you know, I'm not going to be trading a funded account this afternoon, but I think, you know, this trade could be like a good funded play or something like that. I feel like maybe that's what I said, but that's still too ambiguous, I think. For sure, Nacho. Okay. Okay, Batman. Okay. Well, if I said that, then I don't know. We'll see. I'll just keep it as an eval. It's not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Like we literally take funded plays in here all the time, and so like, you know, me labeling one trade as an eval play, like that's fine. Like I'll be able to take funded trades or whatever next week and be like, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, EJ. Yeah. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy how insanely long this win streak has been. And like I'm never like, you know, what's it called? Like ambiguous about my entry. You know, I'm always like I'm in this shit. So oh, and I'll gloat, Brandon. I'll gloat all day. Yeah, for sure, EJ, for sure. Yeah, I know, EJ. I'll probably jinx it. I thought I'd already jinxed it, and then we just got this trade today. So I guess not. I guess we're still good. 4 minute looking bearish, yeah. 4 minutes looking bearish. 5 minutes looking bearish. Even when we got the close here, I mean, we closed through CE, and that's usually a sign that we're gonna head lower. And then, I mean, we have this next 1 minute here, so we can watch this as a reaction, right? Like if we get a good V shape here, and we end up respecting the 5 minute, we get this 1 minute gap. Like that could be interesting. Probably a decent break-even target, but doesn't look like we're going to get it. We'll probably end up inversing the 5 before that happens, so I guess we'll see. Um, dude, why couldn't we have hit the 1 minute there? Did we? Damn, we already inversed everything to the downside too. So yeah, I wouldn't take this long. It just goes against the bias. 3 minute held. Oh, true. Yeah, we're still holding the 3 minute. Okay, so we got 4 seconds, and the 3 minute inverse too. So yeah, no, I'm not taking that long ever. We can watch it play out, but I mean, nah, nah. All right, so there's the 1 minute gap. All right, I'll catch you tomorrow, Skyway. We'll know if respect that last 1 minute. We'll see. Probably not. I think it makes more sense probably to go take out previous hourly low, and then maybe we get an inverse back to the upside, take out previous hourly high. That would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I guess if we get like a big momentum candle here, we'll have momentum, model, and I guess lower time frame bias. Obviously, we inverse that 5 minute to the downside, but if we respect this 1 minute BPR and then inverse bearish PD race to the upside, that's pretty much confirmation for lower time frame delivery. Last 30-second from indicator cook too. Really? Damn, bro. Yeah. That did cook. It's already up 40 points. I mean, this isn't ever a trade I'm taking personally, but I mean, yeah, indicator caught it. Okay. Yeah, Stalker did. He said it was like 70 to 80% of the time. He ran it over like 4 years of historical data or something. I don't know where he's at though. He might have actually left PM, which would make me really sad. I really miss Stalker. Oh no, he's in here. Oksana, you thought that was funny. Hey, you should have caught like 9 million bangers during your stream today. Did you stream today? Okay. What did you take during your stream? Oh, fire. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So it took the long. That was good. Took the short back down. That was good. Yeah, that 5 minute short was that. Yeah, that was this one, right? We didn't take this one because, yeah, just too deep in discount. But yeah, that was fine. I tried to take this one on options. I tried to catch the move when we had this pullback here on this candle after the 15-minute inverse. And I missed my entry by like $3 and then went back down. I posted the strike I was looking at when that happened. At like I think it was like 207 or something, and the contracts brought like $1.50, and they ran all the way to $3 on this move down. So they went 100%ed from when I posted it in chat. They 200%ed from where I wanted to get in, and then obviously we had the 2 minute long there that we cooked on. But yeah, I mean every inverse has been working today. It's been pretty crazy. Imagine we got price action like this every single day. Um, guys, how does a MFFU giveaway sound? It would be for 3 starter plus 50Ks. I had MFFU reach out to me in an email last night, and they're like, "We want to do a giveaway with your community," and so yeah, I was just ironing out the details with them over email, and they were like, "Yeah, we can do 3 starter plus 50K accounts." So I'm thinking what we'll probably do is anyone that buys MFFU accounts using my code from now until like the end of uh, June will get an entry. And then just like send me, I guess, like a DM each time you use my code. And then at the end of the month, we'll do a drawing with everyone's individual entries. And yeah, the person with, I guess, that gets pulled will win. Sorry, I kind of explained that wrong. So each transaction you make on MFFU will count as one entry. Doesn't matter the size of the account. Just for simplicity's sake, if you DM me proof with that entry, I will add you to like the pool, and then at the end of the month we'll pull, I guess, three names or 3 tickets or whatever, and whoever's name gets pulled will win. We won't do any duplicates, so if somebody wins twice, they'll just get 1 account, and we'll just pull until 3 unique names have been pulled. What if I buy an account for NFP and do the passing strat and get banned? I don't know, Trade Boy, but I don't think that'll happen. I've used MFFU accounts for the passing strat before. Nothing's happened. Are the accounts already funded? Nah, I think they're just starter plus accounts, but there's no activation fee. So as long as you pass it, it's basically a free funded. But yeah, I'll type up like a whole announcement post for it. I don't know. That was pretty cool. That's the first time I've ever had like a brand reach out to me to do like a giveaway. So, hopefully we can give away some accounts here at the end of the month. Yeah, that's crazy, Ken. We'll probably see like a relief bounce or something here, maybe when we resweep the low in NQ. All right, so just about to resweep the previous hourly low here. In order for us to become bullish again, we would need to see price re-inverse. What's the best gap going to be here? 3 minute just closed there, so we got to wait 3 minutes before the next 3 minute candle close. We have that tiny 1 minute up there. We have a 2 minute that's forming. We got another 50 seconds before that. I think the 3 minutes probably going to be the best here, right? You know, once that forms. So maybe we'll just base it off the 3 minute time frame. And then, yeah, hopefully we sweep previous hourly low and get nice bullish reaction. If there's no bullish reaction, if there's no V-shape, if delivery isn't confirmed bullish, then we'll probably just assume that we're going to dump into the end of the day. And then, yeah, that'll be it. IV on these contracts for options is way too high, in my opinion. So probably not going to try and lotto any calls here to the previous hourly high. But if you're somebody that really doesn't care about the IV and you think, you know, we could like soup this low, or maybe you want to enter off the inverse there, I definitely think, you know, calls could work to that previous hourly high as long as we get a good bullish reaction. If not, if we start making, you know, bearish PD arrays below the previous low and continue to get bearish candle closes below that previous low, then I guess we're dumping. I mean, that's already a bad candle there. No soup reaction. We're not seeing any bullish reaction here to the daily. So maybe we go down to the next daily, which is at, what is this, 557 here, and then we get a reaction. It's a FEG paired with a order block, so should be, you know, significant when we hit it. This 4 hour, sorry, not the daily. It's a daily VI, but I guess that's a pretty bearish reaction coming off the weekly SIBI here, so we still have not inversed this yet. I guess we're not going to all-time highs quite yet. Maybe if we get it, you know, tomorrow with NFP, but so far, not yet. All right, so we are just diving through price now. Just fell 100 points in about 5 minutes. And we're still going. It's just nosediving. So, yeah, I mean, RIP price, I guess. So yeah, for an inverse now, I would need to see a manipulation leg. And the reason why is because there's just too many fair value gaps in the way to take an inverse back to the upside. Right, so this is that scenario where you want to look for a manipulation leg. So yeah, 4 hour gap hit. Want to see price just like V-shape out of this, you know, come back up, create another candle here, tap into the 1 minute, make a manipulation leg, put in a bearish gap, inverse that to the upside, then maybe we can go back up. But not getting that, obviously. Just falling very quickly. That contract that I showed you guys is now worth $450 a con. It is just, it is now 350% gain on it. You gonna end stream earlier today? Probably not. I mean, this is pretty exciting. Wow, this contract is almost worth $500. That was 400% move. So you guys see why we can't flip bullish? Even though it doesn't make sense for price to come back to this low after we've hit the daily, there's nothing telling us that price has switched to a bullish bias. So yeah, Ken, honestly, like I'm just observing like how much these contracts are going up in price. I would have never held that contract, even if I would have gotten in to this point. I would have probably gotten all out at the low. So I'm not really beating myself up about it. I'm just, you know, commenting on the fact that they're like going up so much in value so quick. But yeah, I want to see who asked me. I forget who asked me about that. It was Hernacho, right? Yeah. It was Hernancho. So yeah, Hernancho. There you go. There's the, I guess, the textbook example of price obviously not being bearish. Okay. Okay. V shape back up now. Nope. I saw what Elon tweeted. I did not. Here, guys, I'm not going to enter any inverses that form here. This is like taking that first inverse after a massive dump. Difference between this one and the one we got the other day is there's just too many roadblocks in the way here. So I'm going to wait for a manipulation leg. Hey, so you guys know that selling rips guy? First thing I see when I open up Twitter is 5 hours ago, the day before NFP, he blew up every single one of his new 300K funded accounts. He passed them yesterday and blew up every single one today. 20 Apex fundeds. Selling rips, Fahrenheit. The guy that's been beefing with Dodgy. Oh, okay. So yeah, maybe Fahrenheit. I'm reading this dude's Twitter. Sorry, I went silent. I mean, there's just not really a whole lot for me to comment on right now. But I'm reading this dude's Twitter, and he's always shitting on Ryan for whatever, uh, the broker statements, the whatever. And today he's posting on his personal Twitter that he made 17 grand in his personal brokerage account, but never said he was taking the position on live until after he made the profit. And then he posted and talked about it. So I think he's a hindsight trader then. And he also blew up 2,300K accounts. So he made 300, or he made 17 grand on, I guess, a personal brokerage, which is different than obviously a prop, right? Because props, you're not investing nearly as much money. But then he lost 7,500 times 20 accounts. That's $150,000. So he lost $150,000 on prop and made 17K on real, I guess. And he advertised, I guess, that is like a good winning day for him. All right, I guess, man. I guess. See what I mean when I say like the beef is just manufactured? Wait, what just happened? How long ago did this did the stream end? It didn't even say that I got knocked out. 322? Bro, I've been talking to myself this whole time.
I've been literally talking to myself for the last 2 minutes. Yeah, Plyo. Yeah, no, I thought. I mean, I guess. Um, Basically, I was just complaining about the fact that Rips doesn't call out his trades before they happen. He only mentions the profit he makes on his trades after he executes them. And then he made 17K on his personal, but he blew 150K of prop funded money. So, pretty interesting guy, man. I still feel like he was just shitting on Dodgy for clout, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We all just got to kind of do our own things, and it's kind of why I don't really mess around with the Twitter Fubu space. I just kind of do my own thing because it's not me versus them or me versus you guys or whatever. It's just me versus myself. So I didn't get raided by the feds. Nah, no. Is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? Oh wow. Oh wow. Well, that sounds like Republicans are losing in the midterms. I mean, talk about a way to split the base. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Nah, that's actually crazy. Nah, that's crazy. The richest dude in the world calling you out like that. Yeah, I mean, this was like so beyond predictable. It's not even funny. Like everyone has been saying this is going to happen eventually. Their egos, their individual egos, are far too big for either of them to coexist. Blio, do you remember talking with me about this like a few months ago? And I literally said that this was going to happen. I feel like you and I were talking about it. All right, so V shape back up after hitting the 4 hour OB there and that last gap in the leg. No good inverse for us here. I mean, any inverse we take is just running into another gap. So I'm hoping we either get a confirmation set up or, we get a manipulation leg here or something. You do remember that? Okay. You know, don't glaze either. Like, if you don't remember, you don't remember. I was curious if you remember us talking about that. Okay. This is crazy. So the markets are literally reacting to a dick measuring contest. That's what this is. This whole entire market move down is basically one big dick measuring contest. It's so funny. Dude, I love trading. Dude, trading is the best. What other industry is this going to happen in? Not it's generated eyes for NFP. Yeah, maybe. Every other, fair enough. Yeah, true. Maybe Ken. I don't know. I mean, 15-second backup because why not? Hell yeah, 15-second confirmation. This is never the 15-second trade I'm going to take. Obviously, I'm going to take that 15-second. That's coming off the inverse, or not the inverse, the liquidity sweep. I'm not going to take a confirmation 15-second setup, but we can watch it. Watch it for sure. I mean, It's the first bullish gap that's been made after this dump, so good reaction here, and we probably should see price head up. Daily inverse? I don't think so. Plus, I don't even think it really matters too much because this daily gap isn't that significant, right? We never made higher highs out of it, but like I feel like this 4 hour is because it's paired with that order block, and you know, as long as we're holding that, we should be good to go. The daily really shouldn't matter too much, but I don't even think we're going to inverse the daily here either. We'll probably hold this as long as we keep this momentum up. Wow, so already 100 points up off the low there. It's pretty crazy. That 15-second just... Well, we didn't get the close before the invalidation, but, I mean, definitely could assume we were going higher off that reaction to the 1 minute gap. All right, EJ. Have a good rest of your afternoon. So we put in that next 15-minute gap. We'll watch this reaction to the 15-minute gap above here. If we get a bearish reaction from that, you know, maybe we'll see price come lower. But I feel like longs to this 15-minute are pretty good. I feel like that should hit. So we'll see here. But yeah, I'll have that marked. What do we do, guys? Do we chase a long here? 25 points. All right, Umami. I'll catch you tomorrow. Dude, this is just gonna go hit the 15. This momentum up is crazy. So the problem with taking any long right now is we just don't know the bias, right? Bias is like neutral until this 15-minute gap gets inversed to the upside. So once this 15-minute gets inversed, I bet you calls into NFP probably work. I bet you NFP will end up being bullish if we get this inverse. But we'll see. Good reaction there. No body close inside this 1 minute. So just want to, I guess, keep seeing price have those reactions. And yeah, I mean, 15-minute gap here seems like really, really good target. Is anybody in a long right now? I know there's not like an IFEG setup here, but I mean, seems pretty obvious that we're going up in the short term. Off the order block, yeah, like that entry there, that was good. I would go, I mean, if you're in off the order block, I'd probably already be break even. But if you got in just off like the IFEG tap, or not the IFEG, the for value gap tap there, I'd probably go break even at the highs. Yeah, Walrus, we actually caught this 2-minute long. So we took this, sold literally at the top tick, if you check PM trade recaps, and then we got break even on the runner. Reason why we got break even on the runner is because there was like news here. Trump tweeted something at 2:37, and it dumped us. I think if Trump hadn't tweeted, we probably would have just V-shaped back up and had our runner hit final TP there, but we were just down to a runner here anyway. Like, we entered the trade, I think, with 3 micros, and then it was just 1 runner left. So it was a good setup. But yeah, I think longs right now are going to work to at least this 15-minute gap. And if we start pushing through that, maybe even potentially higher here, I don't think that this move will be sustained. Okay. Yep, 8:30 a.m. New York, Wesley. Yep. So yeah, if you got in off the 2022 there, that's where I. Well, actually, we just made equal highs. I thought we took it. My bad. Okay, so I'd go break even there. I mean, that's 20 points since the entry, so I definitely wouldn't want price to come back and you know hit this gap before heading up. I would just want to see continuous candle closes over this previous high. So I feel like that's a safe break even. And then, yeah, I think 15-minute here is going to get hit. Do we have like a 50% level here? So 50% just got tapped there. So maybe that's where, like, if it's 1-to-1 away, you TP one there and then try and hold for the 15-minute, or you just take profit at the 15-minute since that's about to hit. Is that equal highs, or did we get it? Equal highs. Okay, so one more tick, we'll be good. All right, there would be like TP1, and then gauge this reaction. If it's a bad reaction, obviously cover that runner or whatever position you have. But yeah, I mean, this is really good momentum, really, really good. So this is where holding a runner could definitely be helpful, especially since we have equal highs here. That could become a really good target for price. Okay, you're in. Uh-oh, trade boy. No. Nah, profit. There's a couple people that took longs here. Somebody took the long off the OB, and I'm assuming people took the 2022 long here. And so I'm just commentating that. But there was no IFEG setup, so. But yeah, frontline, do you see those equal highs? We have like no roadblocks in the way here and good LRLR kinda. So if price just accelerates through this 15-minute, we're going to go hit those equal highs. Indicator alerted the 3-minute. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I think a good spot to trail your stop is probably, I mean, yeah, probably here. Like, there's no reason why price should violate this 1 minute we're forming here. Wow, 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 wow. You know, I would have more FOMO if I didn't take a winning play today, but this is crazy. 150 points off the low already. You're over trading? I mean, yeah, but in these conditions, it's okay. This is like the perfect time to do it. Vert any long from this gap, I think was good. The idea also could have been off this 3-minute IFEG, but obviously I'm not going to take any of these setups because I'm done for the day with that one setup. So now I'm just tape reading price and commenting on reactions to the 15 here and places you can set your take profits at and whatever. Tom, probably after the news release and the OSFL setup, we'll see if price is any good. But I mean, if Trump is going to be yapping his mouth and Elon and him are going to be getting into beefs, we could definitely see more volatility tomorrow. So I wouldn't write off tomorrow. Tomorrow could be good too. So yeah, I think once we get to these equal highs here, I probably wouldn't hold past that because these 15-minute equal highs are inside of a fair value gap, and I just don't see price getting all the way back to 789 here. That's like really far, really, really far. So I feel like this is like a good spot. It's up a crazy amount of points. Maybe even if we got this 15-minute inverse here, this could be like a play to the equal highs as long as it's 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1, depending on the close. This looks so textbook. This is not 1-to-1? Sure it is. If you get the close here, and the stop is like, you know, a close back below. Nah, bro, that's 1-to-1. Okay, close back below on a 15. Let's say we include the inception gap. Yeah, it's not 1-to-1, but like, I don't know. I guess fine. Then don't take it. That's why we don't take 15-minute trades, right? I don't know. I'm not gonna beg you to take the 15-minute. I'm just trying to find a way to cope the entry here, I guess. Indicator alerted previous 15-minute. Yeah, it'll probably alert this one if I turn it on. We got 4 more minutes until that triggers though, so we'll see. Want to see a good bullish close here on this candle, and then just, you know, another good candle back up. Good retrace to balance the 2-minute that we formed there. So hopefully we just keep pushing up. Am I done for the day? Yeah, I'm done for the day. Profitable. I have a win in AM and a win in PM. I mean, that's literally best case scenario, especially on pre-NFP day. We got the TP on the Devil's Mark there. Did you take one off there front line and then try and leave a runner? Because I guess that Devil's Mark TP wasn't horrible. You know, we're starting to get some, I guess, bearish reactions to the 15-minute here. We're not seeing that close above. All right, for sure. Yeah, it looks like it's going to inverse the 1 minute back down here. We're not going to see that 15 get inverse, so I guess we're sticking with a bearish bias for now. Hopefully this 1 minute holds, though. We'll be in good shape. Okay. Maybe we're waiting for 350. Did we form a 5 minute below? So we did form a 5 minute below, so there's a chance, you know, that price comes back here to the 5 minute gap, retraces, and then just bounces from there. %50 is kind of low there. Yeah, maybe Trade Boy. Okay, well, maybe we get a confirmation setup here. Do we have a 30-second gap? We do. Okay. All right, all right. So we got to see this 30-second inverse to the upside. Or not. Damn. Not even going to close inside the gap. That's horrible. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have said anything front line. Looks like you had the right play there. My bad. We still haven't inversed this 1 minute to the downside. You know, I figured. Oh my god, it did it again. It did it again. It literally did it again. I don't know why that just happened. Okay, so really good candle there. We still held that 1 minute gap. Oh, indicator alerted it. Alrighty. Are we taking this? No, we're done. We got our one set up. It's day before NFP. We have 350 in a couple seconds here, so no, we're done. We'll just watch it play out. Indicator did alert it though. And it lost. Oh man. Okay, you know, maybe indicator's not all that. Maybe I got nothing to worry about. I don't know. That's funny. And now it's gonna work, right? Okay, okay. So maybe the indicator really isn't, you know, it's not gonna take my job anytime soon. But we're pushing here. I think, you know, since that 1 minute gap held here, we're still respecting lower time frame bullish PD raise, which is a good sign. I do think we could definitely see 350 completely destroy this, you know, built up liquidity here to the left. There's not really any roadblocks here. I mean, sure, we have these 1 minute gaps that held, but they're kind of tiny relative to how quick NQ is moving here. And we have previous hourly high above, and we have equal highs at previous hourly high. So two really strong liquidity pools. I would say these are good equal highs. So, I mean, on a trade like this, if it wasn't the day before NFP and we hadn't taken a win, I would be willing to take a inverse this high up in premium if we got it, like a confirmation setup, almost like this, right? Maybe if it had been a little bit more V-shaped, I would take it, but this is a scenario where I would long in premium, right? Because this draw on liquidity is really good. Vert, is that the 30-second? Like we just got? The 1 minute? Oh, you jumped in off the 1 minute there? Okay, gotcha. Alrighty. Best of luck. 950 or 350 here in 30 seconds. Oh, it's on paper? Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. I thought you were taking that on a funded or something. The other thing, too, about taking a long here is, you know, we have this 15-minute gap to the left that's still being respected, so you're kind of longing against the bias here. I guess the indicator doesn't know that. Yeah, go for it, Vert. I don't know if you were here for it, but I told everyone that, for anyone that buys an MFFU account using my code and sends a DM to me over Discord with the proof of them, doing that, they'll be entered into a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway for 350K starter plus accounts. Hell yeah. I'll make an announcement about it after, but well, RIP your paper account. Probably just manipulating here at the start of the macro. Maybe we'll see, price reverse and head back up. Gotta hold this 1 minute, I think, though. Dude, I have so much stuff I have to do after this. Gosh dang it. I gotta clean the entire house. My girlfriend's family's coming over tomorrow because my girlfriend's brother is going off to boot camp for the summer. I have no idea what that means, Ken. No, he's gonna be in the National Guard, and he wants to do basic, get his education paid for, and then he wants to become a state trooper. So, while he's not going into the army and he's not going on the front lines and he's not going to be a Marine for that, his goal is to put himself in danger, you know, being a cop. So, for all the comments of oh, National Guard, whatever, at least he'll be, I guess, in the force. Hell yeah, Vert. All right, we got 7 minutes left in the day here. Yeah, 1 minute isn't horrible. Just against the bias. Coming off the 5 minute there is good. Yeah, what a pre-NFP day. I'll give it till 55 here. If we don't get nothing, then I'll probably hop off. Two to 3 minute OB playing out? Guess so. All right, so yeah, we're just not going to get anything for the 350 macro here. Going to wrap up the day here. I'll catch y'all for NFP or post NFP stream tomorrow. We'll probably just talk about some of the morning trades. Maybe we'll get something. But yeah, I'll catch you all then. Peace out, everyone.